Happy Mother's Day to all of you who are fortunate to be called a mother. I think it's one of the greatest gifts that anyone could ever have, and that's why I'm passionate about helping people get babies. So today we'll be talking about elderly primigravidas, or what elderly mothers or women who are trying to get pregnant or are pregnant when they're a little bit over the age of 35. So keep watching. I'm Dr. Wanjiro Ndegwa, and you're watching Footsteps to Fertility. So today we'll be talking about getting pregnant or being pregnant when we're over 35. I think this number is a very important number. And someone asked me, okay, I want to try and get pregnant. What's the optimal age of trying to get pregnant? When am I most likely able to get pregnant? And I would say, in my experience, that if you are between 25 and 33, that's the easiest time to get pregnant. And that's when you carry the pregnancy very well. But with changing times, we're having people who are 38, 40, 44, 46, carrying pregnancy, and obviously the latest was Janet Jackson. And it's okay to have your babies a little bit later. I know for social reasons we're looking for the right man, we're looking for a bit of more education as women so that we can be empowered, and we're also looking that we are better financially so that we can take care of our children very well. So it's okay, but I do want you to know that there are some risks and the downfalls of waiting too long. In the world of medicine, we say that women are elderly or are late in pregnancy if they're over the age of 35. And this is more of a medical term than anything else. And it's because at that age, the plateau that was there where the ovaries have enough eggs sharply declines. And we get less and less follicles or eggs being produced every month. And therefore, the chances of getting a pregnancy are also harder at that point. So that's, I think, point number one, that we have a reduced chance of getting children after the age of 35, and that's only because your ovarian reserve, or the number of follicles in the ovary, reduced drastically. And they keep reducing drastically from 35, there's a sharp decline after 38 to 40. And finally, in the menopausal stage, where most people get menopause now at 45, going towards 50, then there's a sharp decline and you go into menopause. So one of the biggest risks is that it's harder to get pregnant over the age of 35. For some people, it's easy. For some people, it's harder. Another risk factor of getting your children late is the risk of miscarriage. It's well known that because the eggs are aged and they're not so, the quality reduces with age as well, that the risk of you getting a miscarriage is much higher. In fact, they say that you're 3 to 4 times more likely to have a miscarriage after the age of 40. And that's simply because the egg quality has really reduced, and therefore you're more likely to have more genetic problems or abnormalities happening when it's fertilized, and therefore it comes out as a miscarriage. So that's another factor that we need to consider. Another thing that we need to consider really, really well is our health, because two conditions are very, very strongly related to age in pregnancy. One is hypertension in pregnancy. That means blood pressure. Your blood pressure tends to be higher and can have ill effects on the pregnancy, on you, and on the baby if you're older than 35. And that's just a known fact. The other factor is diabetes. Diabetes is another problem that usually occurs in women over 35. And the reason being is sometimes the balance of hormones is not so good, and therefore women over 35 and usually beyond 40 tend to have something we call gestational diabetes. And that's when their sugars are out of control and the pregnancy puts a strain to it, and they're more likely to have problems of diabetes. And this can relate to the woman having problems and also to the baby having problems. And it makes the pregnancy a little bit harder. The effects to the unborn baby could be many. One I have already spoken to is about genetic abnormalities. Because of the age of the aging eggs, there is an increased risk of having chromosomal abnormalities with the unborn fetus. We tend to think that Down syndrome is higher. You have a higher chance of having a child with Down syndrome after the age of 35. So this is something to be aware of when we're deciding how to plan for our future fertility. So I am already 40, or I'm already 35, 38, and I don't have a child. Does it mean that we don't? No, obviously, these things are not absolute. All the risk factors are not absolute. They're just things that we should watch out for. So if you're 38, 35, whatever age, and you really want to have a baby, then I think it's good to know about the risk, but it's good to know how to avert the risk. And one of the things we always say is lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle. We are more obese, yeah? We are having unhealthy diets. We're smoking. We're having a more stressful lifestyle in this day and age, and all those things don't help your body. So I will ask women who are trying to conceive, one, to ensure that in the preconception period you take care of your health. And this means eating fresh fruits and vegetables. This means taking care of your body by exercising each and every day, or at least 3 or 4 times a week for at least 30 minutes. This means de-stressing and decluttering and taking care of yourself and your mental well-being. This means not smoking and not taking excessive amounts of alcohol, because your body is what carries your unborn baby, and the chances of a better successful pregnancy depend on you a lot. So please, let's try and be healthy. Let's try and live healthy lifestyles for our unborn children as well. So if you're gonna be an elderly mother, have no worries. It's all okay. There are people who have no problem whatsoever and carry their pregnancy so well and do so well in the breastfeeding period. So this is not to scare you, but it's to caution you. I will only caution, the last point would be that if you have been trying for more than 6 months and you're over the age of 35, you may need a little bit of help. So please don't hesitate to come and see a fertility specialist. Get a little help. There's no shame in help. If you enjoyed the video and are over the age of 35, or perhaps you know somebody, a sister, a friend who is trying, please share the video. Please subscribe. Please comment. Feel free to get in touch. We'd love to hear how it's going for you and love to hear whether this was beneficial for you. Happy Mother's Day from us at Footsteps to Fertility Center. This is Dr. Wanjiro Ndegwa, and you're watching Footsteps to Fertility, where we walk with you.